Thank you, Felicity. Case for different support for wave and tidal. Sounds a good topic for discussion later on and under questions. Our final presentation this morning is The Value Proposition, The Lawyer's Perspective by Charles Reynard. He's a partner in Eversheds Corporate and the M&A Group, member of the Clean Energy and Sustainability Team, and head of the Northeast Corporate and M&A Practice. He's a member of the Renewable UK Wave and Tidal Group EMR Committee. Charles, over to you.
John, thank you very much indeed, and good morning, everybody. We have heard about a number of facets relevant to marine renewables, and I have been asked to talk about the value proposition. More by accident than design, I think I'm going to draw some of the strings together of the themes that we've been discussing this morning. As mentioned by John, I'm a partner in the Clean Energy team at Eversheds. There are over 130 of us in the firm focusing on all renewable technologies. I say over 130 because we've recently announced 2 additions to our office in Beijing, echoing the point that we see great opportunities throughout Asia in the renewable practice. We also have a reasonably clear idea on value, advising as we do clients on the bankability of their assets or otherwise. And I'm happy to say that we've been confirmed as the top M&A and private equity legal advisors in the Clean Energy Pipeline recent table. We've advised on projects in the Pentland Firth and a number of other developers on projects throughout the UK in the marine sector. Get this right. In this brief presentation, I'm going to provide a very high-level assessment of the value proposition from the perspective of developers, funders, and the supply chain. Moving on to developers, yesterday there were 2 great announcements for the sector announced by Fergus Ewing. Very positive news for aquamarine and a welcome development for the wave sector in the MRCF announcement. And Felicity has touched upon a theme that I think is becoming increasingly current across the industry. However, as I speak, the value proposition is still the great potential of the marine renewables sector, and as highlighted earlier, it is substantial. In addition, we need to be aware that the sector is being asked and expected to mature at a considerable rate in order to cope with the expectations of the new EMR system. Levelized costs of energy need to fall, and quickly, and this is a significant and very tall order when the sector is still both developing effective technologies and seeking to create its first arrays at the same time. Along with the rest of the renewables industry, the sector is facing the uncertainties of the EMR proposals. Strike prices, we hope to see them in July. Contract duration, is it 15 or 20 years? And availability. In addition, the challenges of a lack of grid capacity and high use of system charges don't help. And the recent announcement by SSE about the islands interconnector is not encouraging. However, to put it in perspective, with the Maygen and the Siemens MCT and Scottish Power Islay projects leading the way, there is the imminent potential to demonstrate the sector's capability to create confidence and its ability to deliver that is absolutely crucial to its development in the coming years. We are, as we say, in a watershed period. From the point of view of funders and investors, what's the value proposition for them? Again, I come back to the fact that it is the potential, and it is substantial. We've seen that a number of OEMs have been acquired by large corporates or have entered into arrangements with utilities. In my view, these are strategic investments by the big players, such as Siemens, for example, of MCT, or DCNS of Open Hydro, to keep their toe in the water, and to monitor the opportunities of this potentially significant renewable sector. However, to be honest, how many of them are bankable as yet? While there have been several positive milestones that have been announced, such as the Pelamis P2 device having completed a full year's testing at EMEC, and other devices having extended periods of successful operation, the industry's got a way to go before it is a bankable proposition. There's still too much uncertainty out there. Uncertainty for developers translates certainly into uncertainty for your funders. Technology risk, reliability, availability, and output. O&M costs. The actual returns, project returns, and fundamentally the compatibility of these investments with the private equity houses investment cycle. All of those are challenges to securing the funding that the industry seeks. So, as a proposition, whilst there are exceptions, and Aquamarine are an honourable one, that an Aquamarine having secured a facility, the industry is not attractive to the mainstream institutional investors or funders as yet. So, what can we do about it? I do believe that the supply chain actually has a significant contribution to make. There is a considerable amount to be learned from the oil and gas sector and from the offshore wind sector. There are many project steps in common, such as dealing with the Crown Estate, other property, and cabling issues. These sectors have already had to address several of these issues, and there are opportunities for the marine sector to learn from them. Collaboration between elements of the supply chain was discussed at some length at the SI Ocean meeting on Tuesday. The need to identify risk more effectively and allocate it and manage it in an improved fashion. Even engaging with the insurance industry, which has to be central to this. The MOU, for example, between the two marine energy parks is a good start. Contracting strategies could alter to a more partnering style approach. When I was in industry, we adopted a partnering approach for a contract, and as a result of that, a significant piece of construction work was built on time, broadly on budget, because there was a common incentive between the various participants. Conversely, another industry player that was seeking to develop a very similar project elsewhere did it in the standard EPC approach, a highly adversarial approach, and they were months behind as a result. So I do believe that there is a great opportunity for the supply chain to collaborate more holistically towards attaining the goal, and in that way identify risks and, all being well, reduce the costs involved. So, in conclusion, and mindful that we need a little bit of time for questions, the value proposition is still, frankly, work in progress. There will be some major winners, and in the consolidation game, there will be losers too. The industry has got huge potential. It has government support, but it really needs the early arrays to be successful in order to create the transparency, the credibility, and momentum that will generate the scale of returns that both the developers and the supply chain really needs to take advantage of all of the opportunities that were outlined by Martin Wright earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.